There's a new, I think as part of the new law that attaches itself to credit flexibility is part of one of the aspects of the law, but there's another portion of the law that relates to what you're starting to see now. You may start to see now if you have a younger person, a younger student, that if you're taking high school level coursework that the board has approved as true high school level coursework taught by a high school licensed teacher at the middle school, that those can now be counted as high school credit. We did not used to do that until a year ago. We would advance you, so instead you'd come and you'd start in Spanish 2, or you'd come and you'd start in 9 honors math or geometry honors, but it didn't show on your transcript as credit for Algebra 1 or credit for Spanish 1. Now those credits move forward, and then we've worked out a way to look at, well, does the grade and therefore the academic grade in terms of a GPA move forward? We're being very careful with that. We don't want a student who's chosen to take advanced work in 8th grade and take that challenge then to walk into high school with a deficit in their GPA. You know, so you got a B in an advanced course in 8th grade. We want you to have the credit, and it should be on your transcript. But if that B, so you start off with a 3-point, as a high schooler, it seems like that might be punishing. You know, I took the higher road, but it's a consequence in the sense that I start off already not, you know, where I could be. So we're playing with how to make sure that that's not causing harm, or telling a student not to go for the higher challenge. But on top of that, a student can indeed test for credit. So if I walked in and I said, I have the knowledge and the understanding that's expected in Algebra 1, could I test out of it? Much like you would in college. And yes, that is an option that's allowed. It's something that we're still working through. Well, what is the test? So what we started looking at was saying, all right, we're in the driver's seat in terms of determining what measure of assessment would tell us that, yes, you've met that. So since we are in the process of writing common end-of-course assessments anyway, it seems to us that the expectation for you to test out of that would be that you would have to demonstrate mastery on our end-of-course assessment, so that we're comparing apples to apples. Someone sat and took geometry honors here, and if you said, I've got geometry honors, show me. And we can look at you in comparison to the students that took geometry honors here and say, yes, you're there. So there's a lot of thinking still going on about that, but that is an avenue for a student. Where I'm seeing it already more so is less the math, but I've seen more of it already in language. You know, a student that comes in and they're already very fluent in French and they want to test and then go into French 2, or test and go into German, you know, and that we've already, and there's some tests that we're accepting. There's some of those tests that students are taking national exams, and there's some schools of language that are outside of Shaker that kids attend or go to, and are those standardized kinds of assessments? Can we accept those as a measure of mastery? And the answer is yes. So because we've done enough research to say that test, that national exam, is a solid measure. So this is probably going to happen more. I don't know that it'll ever be a huge thing. I'm expecting to see it more likely in math and language, maybe in science, but I suspect it's more math and language than anywhere else that we might see a student trying to test out or advance themselves.
So testing out means what? What grade would they have to achieve to test out?
We're saying that an 80%. We'd actually designated a percent, that we want to see an 80% result on that would tell us